Hi, thanks for tuning in here today. Today we're going to be doing a fun little simple painting. I hope you can follow along with me. Tell you what, let me have them run the colors across the screen that you'll need to paint along with me. While you're doing that, let me tell you what I got up here on my easel. On my regular 16 by 20 inch canvas, pre-stretched, double prime, and I added a thin layer of the liquid white. Rather than that, it's slick, it's wet, it's ready to go. I thought today we could do a little bit different painting, something that maybe usually I wouldn't do, but shoot, for the paintings and all that, we gotta try things out. We're gonna go into little yellow ochre. Let's just get right into the painting. A little bit of yellow ochre on my 1 inch. Just tap it full of color. That's a new color we added just for today's painting. So just in case you're wondering, we're just gonna fan it out. A little bit of yellow ochre. Tap a little more. There. Let me load up some more color. There we are. There. Now, let's go ahead and I'm going to add a little bit of brown into my ochre. So just mixing it on my brush, a little bit of brown. And we'll start in the corners. Maybe a little more brown for the corners. There we are. And we'll just blend this out. And just still doing those crisscross strokes. Tap in some color and just keep it moving. Keep the brush moving. There. We'll add a little more color right there. Now, let's go ahead, let's grab pure brown and we'll just add some to the corners. Just here and there. There. And we'll go into some titanium white. Good old titanium white, and we'll just lighten up right there. Load up a bit more. There. And just let it blend out. Okay. We'll go crisscross. Doesn't matter if we get those stringy little patterns. There. Just go across. You can pull this light however you want. And just like so, you have a nice little simple sky. You know what? We gotta add a little more brown just on the top there. But yeah, right there. So now let's just keep it moving. I'm gonna grab a nice good old filbert brush. Those always do me right when I use them. We're gonna go into a little bit of brown, a little bit of Van Dyke brown. We'll grab a little touch of ochre. Shoot, maybe even a little touch of crimson. Maybe a little touch of cadmium. Both yellows and a touch of crimson. Now, I want to put like a distant mountain, but keep in mind it's never a good idea to put it straight in the middle. There's always that rule of thirds and all that, so we'll just put it somewhere over here, off to the side. There we are. You always want to put things off to the side just a little bit. Unless your heart desires so much where you want to put it in the center, by all means. There. Just a little distant mountain. Scrubbing that on, and then we'll grab our 1 inch that we use for the sky, just grab and pull. Just like when we used to add highlights on mountains. It's been a while since I've done that. But just like the same process. Because you want to make it look like it's out in the distance. And blend this out. There. We gotta add in a few little details. So we're gonna go into white from using that filbert brush we were already using, polluting the white, and a touch of ochre. Just a touch. Let's see what we got to work with. Let's come up here and just little subtle indications of some highlights because the light's right there. There. And very softly. Very, very softly. Cool. Now, I'll grab a little bit of ochre, a little more brown, and slightest touch of black. We need a nice shadow. Shoot, maybe even slightest touch of crimson. Slightest. Just mix it up until you're satisfied with it. And I'm just gonna pull down a few little shadows there. You need those shadows in order to emphasize your highlights. Just like a well-known quote with Bob Ross, even stuck with me. Can't have light without dark, and vice versa. That's not the exact quote, but you get the point. We need to have each other, just like sad and good times. We need to have both of them so you can appreciate all of them. Okay, maybe I'm just gonna tap down with my filbert brush just to kind of create a little bit of foliage. There. Okay, let's add a little bit of cadmium yellow to that color just to give it like a little greenish look, just a little bit. And same thing, just going over. This is an old, worn out filbert brush, so keep that in mind when doing this. It will wear it out because you're pushing out the bristles. There. Okay. Just pull down a bit. It's off in the distance, so I don't really want it to have too much detail out there, but it has to have enough. There's always that boundary of, okay, how much do I put? You want to put just enough where it doesn't look too plain, in my opinion, but also to the point where you don't want to make it look like it's right in front of you. So not too much detail, not too little. And that's the goal I always try to achieve. Sometimes I do better than others, but yeah, that's just my view of it. So these are maybe like some trees growing from the mountain. Who knows? Who knows? I'm the painter and I don't even know. Okay. So you can put as many or as a few as you want. Just blend them out. There. Now I want to tie things in just a bit with the trees and all that. So in order to do that, since the main color is yellow ochre, we're going to go in with a little bit of white and a little bit of ochre, just to kind of tie those colors in. Well, yes, we want those green colors. We also want to tie in everything so it comes together. So very, very little. I don't want to overdo it, because once you overdo it, it looks like the base color. And I don't want it like that. I just want a few here and there. Few here and there. And that's about it. Shoot, you can lift up on all of them. There. Blend it out a bit more there. There we are. Now, we can go ahead and let's go into a little bit of phthalo blue. And we'll grab a little bit of cadmium yellow. Just mix it on my 1-inch brush. A little bit of ochre. So both yellows. If you wanted, you could also use Indian yellow for this painting. Maybe that might help out. A little bit of ivory black, just to kind of darken the color. There, load it up. And we'll just come right here and shoom. There we are, crisscross. So just going back and forth. We can also push this back a bit more if you wanted to. So just by tapping out there, and then boom, like so. There. Let's just go crisscross. I'm gonna leave the space open for now. So let me go into a little bit of cadmium yellow, just mixing it up, same colors I had, and a little bit of ochre just to kind of cool it, so it's not too much of a vibrant green. And also that ochre is gonna play a major role in this painting already. And let's come up here and very gentle. There. Shoot, you could probably do the whole painting if you wanted to with the 1-inch brush, but it'd require more paint because to chisel and all that. But you could do it if you want to, or you could do it with palette knife and 1-inch. You could do this with filbert and a 1-inch. You could do all of this painting even with just only a 2-inch brush. So serves you good practice if you just stick to one brush, because then you can master that brush, and you could do beautiful things with it, and you're not afraid of the size of the brush and all that. There, look at that. My favorite brush out of all of them, probably gonna have to be the 1-inch. But God, that 2-inch at times, I love it. Love both of them. Let me add a little more greenish color. Just a little. I don't want to change it too much. Needs a little more yellow, but we'll leave that layer in there. There. There we are. A little bit of ochre. Just tap. There. Just so this isn't pure, how can I say, pure grass, all basic, which you could leave it like that. it would be just fine. But I'm gonna go into a little bit of Van Dyke brown with my palette knife, and let's create a nice little pathway there, somewhere where someone could run barefoot through this field. Look at the view. There we are. And shoot, we can spread out right there. We'll add some brown, slightest touch of yellow, slightest touch, and some white. A little bit more yellow. This is a bit too dark for me. We'll grab a little bit of white. You see all that marbled? Cut it across. Get that little roll of paint. Still a bit too dark. Let's add a bit more white. There. Doom, 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 doom. Just let the paint pick up what it wants. Very gentle. You want to go very, very gentle. Like if you're too scared to touch the canvas. There. You know what? Let's do this. Let's grab a little bit of brown, a little bit of black in there as well, just to darken it up. And we'll cut a roll. Get that nice little roll of paint. Well, shoot. Maybe it lives down here. Doop. There lives a nice little cabin. We can always shape it and all that later on. Nothing to worry about. Don't stress out. Okay. Then we can add a little more yellow to the brown just to kind of change it up. That's still similar. So we'll add red, some crimson in there. There. And just trickle down, little roof. Okay. Maybe right here, just doesn't have to be perfect. We're not looking for perfection. And we'll just size it down. Let's grab a little bit of black and cut a roll. And we'll just shoop. Nice little door. A little bit of black, a little bit of brown. We'll put little indications of some wooden planks. There. You can always work around things. Nothing's ever final. There. You can use it to cast a shadow. I would pull it first, maybe. Shoot, right there. And right there. And we'll add a little bit of grass to that. There. Now you're probably saying, oh, you fixed that, but what about the top of the cabin? Well, with the corner of your brush, Just go in and fix it out. That simple. Now, let's go ahead. We'll go back to our green color that we made up earlier. A little bit of black this time. A little bit more yellow. Black and yellow. Nice dark green color. And maybe that's not dark enough for what I want to do. A little more black. There we are. Maybe it's like you're looking like through it and all that. So just like maybe this is higher up, so you see a little bit of that. Let's just fix up a little bit the shape on how you want it. But there. There we are, just crisscross. There. Tap a bit more paint. There we are. Just go across. Now, let's go ahead and let's go into a little bit of cadmium yellow. We'll go cadmium yellow this time. Just to kind of pop out a little bit. Little bit of grass. Now you might think, Ro, it blends in a bit too much. How can we fix that? Well, what I would do, grab a little bit of white, go into cadmium yellow, maybe even add a touch of red. Who knows? Just very light color, and just add it like a little shines of highlight. There, just for the border. Just so it stands out. And if you're saying, well, you know what? It calls too much attention. I don't want it to call too much attention. Well, just blend it out. Blend out whatever parts you don't like. There. Look, you can blend these out. Pretty simple. There, just use it kind of like a stamp. Use this brush as a stamp. Color would get darker because less light would hit it. Just kind of fill in some color, really. That's all I'm looking for. We'll grab a little bit of brown, a little bit of black. I want some dark color. Okay. Load up my filbert brush. And we'll go right here. We committed already. We are very committed. Maybe it raises up a little bit more. And then we'll just shoom. There. Boom. Boom. Where else? else? Where else? Just think of branches. You won't see much of them, but you want to have them there just in case you see them. A little bit of white and light brown, and there. Just blend it out. Boop, boop, boop. There. Okay. Now, let's go ahead. Let's go into some ivory black. I want this to pop out good. Oh, right before, we'll grab some black and some brown. And let's just come up here. Few little shadowy type colors. Maybe a little touch of blue. That's too much blue. But that's the point. You gotta test things out, see what works and what doesn't for you. There. There we are. Now, let's come up here and just add some foliage. Covered up the mountain. But between me and you, we know the mountain lives back there. There. And then we'll put little more foliage down here. Okay, that should do it. We'll go into a little bit of cadmium yellow right here and just boom. Nice bright green color right there. Just think about where the leaves would shine and all that good stuff. Maybe right here. We have leaves all over the place. Just think about them like bushes on branches. That's how I like to think about it. Think about each individual layer just like you would with your bushes. And some don't receive as much light as others would. There. There we are. Now, I kind of feel bad we lost that mountain or whatever we had going on. So we'll add in a little one over here. We already committed. And just a little bit of color. Now, let me grab a clean 1 inch and we'll just boom. This to show you can always change your mind. You know what? Let's add in another little piece right there, just to extend it out a bit. Okay, we're going to titanium white, a little bit of yellow ochre, and little highlights. Little highlights. There we are. And blend them out. Now, first we gotta fix up those trees. So right here, just boom, fix up those trees, make them stand out a bit more. And last thing, I know we just worked to fix it, but now we're gonna work against it. Let's go ahead and maybe boop, and there we are. Just extend this out. There. We'll add a little bit of highlight to it. There we are. Let's go in even lighter. Just on a few spots. There we are. Okay. You can drag a little shadow if you like. And shoot, what else? Let's finish it off by doing something simple. I don't have a script liner with me right now, so we're gonna test this. We're gonna put in a couple birds. And I'm using just the corner of the palette knife. If you wanna challenge yourself, feel free to try it out like this. That one last one. There we go. Hey, for being with the palette knife, I don't complain. Well, I thank you guys for tuning in here today. I really enjoyed you guys watching and trying to change things up a bit for you guys. And I hope you guys enjoy it and really see what I'm trying to share with you guys. So, from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to wish each and every one of you the best of luck. And I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care, my friends. Goodbye.